Hard-hitting sports in your face. Cooler than the other side of the pillow. Welcome back to the channel. And this is breaking news as being reported by Miami Dolphins reporter Armando Salguero. The Miami Dolphins have added linebacker Rey Maualuga. I remember the other day, both him and another linebacker, Shepard, came in for a visit with both leaving without a contract. But it is being made official today that Rey Maualuga is a brand new Miami Dolphins linebacker. The Miami Dolphins are signing veteran Rey Maualuga to a one-year contract, a move meant to reinforce the linebacker core following the loss of rookie Raekwon McMillan to season-ending knee injury. Maualuga is expected to be the team's middle linebacker, play primarily on rundowns. Maualuga, 30 years old, agreed to a deal that will pay $900,000 in base salary, the minimum for a 9-year veteran, and an $80,000 guaranteed bonus. The Dolphins will invoke the minimum salary benefit, which essentially means the 9-year veteran will count $695,000 against the salary cap. The Dolphins previously used the MSB on cornerback Arton Werner in order to diminish the salary cap hit, although not the actual salary for the 8-year veteran. And Maualuga, the Dolphins add a run stuff specialist, which is exactly what the team needs now for work on early downs. If things go according to the team's plan, Maualuga will play approximately 25 to 30 plays per game in the middle of the defense, but come off the field in nickel passing situations. Maualuga was one of several veterans the team considered last week following McMillan's injury. Ultimately, his experience under defensive coordinator Matt Burke, who was his position coach in Cincinnati, might have tipped the scales towards him as the Dolphins were deciding on which player to sign. So I know I was talking about this situation the other day, and we were talking, well, actually yesterday during our podcast, we were talking about not only Maualuga, but DeAndre Levy and a couple other linebackers. Maualuga, if you look at his stats are decent, and I'll put them up on the screen here so that we can actually take a look at them. Maualuga is 30 years old. He was born January 20th, 1987, so he'll be 31 next year. So he's not really freaking, ancient or anything like that. But just to look at the stats, and the stats are they're pretty solid up until like 2013. Like up until 2013, he was on a roll. In 2012, he recorded 122 tackles, 75 in 2013. And then last year, he only recorded a total of only 27 tackles. So, and it says that in games last year, he played 14 games, but was not even a factor at all. So, I mean, we have to hope that we can get the 2013 or even the 2015 version of Maualuga to come here to Miami. You know what? Before I made this video, I thought the numbers were better than what they are, but I don't know. I hope we can get the most out of him at this point, because he was in a drastic decline in the last couple years here, from what I see. But I mean, there's a reason why he was signed and brought on. People always tell me shit like, you need to trust the process. You need to trust what's going on. Listen, man. Listen. Understand this. Understand that any head coach is only 1 or 2 years. Actually, let me not say 1 or 2 years. 2 or 3 years from being in another job. And that's just the way it is. I hope these guys are making smart decisions and making the best decisions uh, with the way we're going, man. I don't understand it. Better than whole. Work on locker room issues. Exactly a veteran who could be as productive as McMillan, but not quite as athletic or talented. I don't know. I think Mike Hull deserves a shot. I think Hull is all right, but not very athletic and a decent run stopper. Jay Cutler for MVP. I hope so. Our depth is fine. I think Werner and Tankersley make up for the Lippett injury. Hull, Hewitt, and Maualuga should make up for McMillan. If we stay healthy from now on, it'll be up to Cutler. I absolutely think so. I think so, and I said that in a post earlier. I feel like we have the opportunity to go out there and be a top 10 defense this year. I really believe that. And the reason why I believe that is because I believe early downs, especially running downs up front, I feel like we have what it takes to shut down a run game. Off that shutdown, I don't feel like we will have those games where we're getting gashed like we were last year. And I'm hoping with the secondary with Maxwell, with Howard, that we can find a set of cornerbacks that can start to really shut teams down. Week 8, we get our other safety back. Hopefully Rashad is able to play the entire season. But I really feel like we've made some drastic improvements, especially on that line at linebacker as well. And I expect this defense to take a real leap. And we shall see exactly what happens. This is simply a depth move. I mean, we could say that it's a depth move. But at the same time, if it's just a pure, because we already, if you remember a few weeks back, we signed the linebacker immediately after McMillan was hurt. There was a linebacker signed, so if it was just purely for depth, then we would have stayed at that guy. I really honestly think they don't feel like they can get the best out of Mike Hull. I don't feel like they feel comfortable going into this season with Mike Hull. This is what this move tells me. Because you don't bring in a veteran like this just purely for depth, I feel you bring him in to compete for that starting job. I can't really see a linebacker that has been on the big stage, been on a playoff caliber team like Maualuga just being depth and coming in just to, be behind somebody. I fully expect him to come in here. He's got the history with the defensive coordinator. He's gonna come in here and freaking walk in here and fight and compete for the starting position. That's definitely what's gonna probably happen. Anyway, man, just some breaking news. I had no plans on making this video. I'm actually chilling out, kicking back, relaxing on vacation. But yeah. Just saw this. It just went up from Armando, and I wanted to come on and talk about it. So what you gonna say when Finns make playoffs and they sign Cutler to a 3-year deal? If we make the playoffs, Jay Cutler has an absolutely fantastic season. I'm talking about a 35-12 season. It will put us in an interesting quandary. We'll have a situation where we have Jay Cutler making $10 million a season. And then Ryan Tannehill, who will miss this entire season and 3 games from last season, about to come back and make $20 million. That might, if Adam Gase and company figure out that they can get 3 to 4 years out of Jay Cutler, I don't see You know what? That is a top. Let me get off of this because that's you have to do in order to get my ideas about this. You're gonna have to tune in to uh, Dolphin Fan Voices, which is our podcast, and that's one of the topics that we're gonna talk about on there. And you'll hear me go in depth with it. I'm gonna leave that alone. Just the QB situation is fuck. Do you think we're better than last? Do I think we're better than last year? Absolutely. I feel like we're better than last year. I feel like the schedule is not better than last year. So even though we are a better team per se from last year, especially with a lot of the additions, especially on the defensive line, we are 10 times better than last year to me. But the schedule that we have this year, just based on what we know, because I mean, we don't know shit until kickoff, until the games start being played. The year before last, Carolina was a Super Bowl team. Last year, they were in the bottom. So the Falcons could absolutely come out and stink it up. They could. They can have injuries. We don't know what any of the, but just on paper, what we see on paper right now, this schedule is much tougher than last year's schedule. But like I say, that's just on paper. We don't know what's going to happen. Teams that everybody has high hopes for, the Buccaneers could come out and go 2-14. We just don't know. We will have to see that. But on paper right now, I definitely feel like we're better than we were last year, especially on the defensive side of the ball. If Tannehill was still here, I would be very, very happy. Why? Because this would be his third year with these weapons that we have, and then you add Thomas, and I felt like this offense was ready to go. With Jay Cutler, I just don't know. I don't know what Jay Cutler we're going to get, you know? So, yes, it does. Yeah. Anyway, folks, make sure that you follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @casual. That's @KASUWELL. This is the first time I've used my brand new mic. I don't know if you guys can hear the difference from this mic and the headset that I normally use, but I hope that the difference is I hope that the difference is awesome. I got a couple settings on this mic that I'm going to have to test out and try, and I'm probably going to have to download some software. I just connected it to my computer, and I didn't even download any software, so I don't know if it's even connected right. Yeah, it's a blue mic, so you'll see it. You'll see what it looks like on Dolphin Fan Voices when we do the podcast. I'll definitely be on camera during that podcast. Anyway, man, I'm out of here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hard Hitting Sports in your face. Next time we will be talking will be, unless some breaking news happens, will be Dolphins versus Eagles. Third preseason game. Probably 2 quarters from the starters. We'll get a real good look at what our starting defense is going to look like versus that Eagle offense, and what our starting offense is going to look like versus that Eagle defense. So that'll be a real good test. I wish it was the Ravens. I've said that before. I would rather play that Raven defense than play that Eagle defense, because the Ravens always play us tough, and they're one of the better run stop defenses in the NFL. Anyway, I'm out of here. Peace.